Welcome to Made for More podcast, where faith and personal growth converge. I'm Julia, and I'm honored to guide you on a journey of empowerment and transformation alongside our occasional co-host, Omar. We are passionate believers and advocates for unlocking your God-given full potential. Join us as we explore the intersection of faith, life, business, and relationships, igniting a fire within to embrace the truth that your life is destined for greatness. Together, we'll uncover strategies, insights, and stories that inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Get ready to embark on a fulfilling quest towards personal and professional fulfillment, guided by faith and the unwavering belief that you, my friend, are made for more. Hello, you guys. Welcome. Can y'all believe it? I know a lot of you who are in my community, you follow me on social media and things like that. I put it out there that I was going to be relaunching or rebranding Julia Keeps It Real podcast. And I asked people, what do y'all think the new name will be? And I would even do a giveaway. And so I will look at the most closest one, because a lot of y'all were very smart and realize I'm more than likely going to have something with more. If you didn't know, I am engaged. My fiance, his last name is Moore. So my future last name is a cool pun, right? So for the longest, it's been something that's just been stewing in me, and something that I think that we would do great together is we have a lot of great conversations, Omar and I, and it's one of those things where I'm like, other people could benefit from these conversations. Not that we know it all, but just we've been there. So either we've been there and you can relate to it, or hey, like these are some things that we've either have gone through on our own or have gone through in a relationship. And so many relationships out there, we're still obviously like new in ours, but we feel like we're very intentional about certain things. And so just sharing that, like tips on that, and then also just our personal journey, to where we are now. So it's not necessarily like all what's to come, because we'll see that story fold as it folds, but how did we get to where we are? And over again, I was trying to think of, podcast name, and it kept coming back. Before more in 2024 was even a thing that people started talking about. So this has been something for about almost half a year now in my head. And it just came to us that Made for More was essentially going to be the best name for the podcast, because we are going to not just be talking about business. We're not just going to be talking about, for me and my business side. I won't just be talking about even faith. I'm not going to just be talking about one little thing. We'll talk about relationships. We'll talk about health. We'll talk about anything, y'all, that I feel like is going to add value and more, pun intended, in your life. Is things we'll share. We'll have guests on the show. I mean, if there's people that are like, hey, this person can get you great wisdom on housing and real estate and buying a home, let's add them on. If this person's got great car dealership tips, like let's bring them on. Like if this person has great biblical wisdom, let's bring them on. If this person is a great entrepreneur or business savvy person that's in the network marketing space or affiliate marketing space or just online or just the wave of the new future with modern business, and they have some great tools and tips and strategies to help you, let's bring them on. So this is Made for More, because essentially we all know that we were destined for greatness, and we were literally, God created us to not be complacent and not to just be basic, but to literally live out the promise or the purpose he has for your life, which is also, his promises too. But so with all that to say, we are doing a lot of me this season. This is season 3 of my podcast, but it'll be season 1 since we're doing the rebranding of Made for More. And this season, you'll probably see a lot more of me, and then Omar being more of a co-host. But as time goes on, we'll probably start merging that more and more. But what I love about this was I wasn't even sure if I wanted to start it right now, because I'm like, well, we have so much going on, moving, wedding planning, starting our own, marriage together. But I just don't feel like you have to have it all put together in order to share your blessings, in order to share answered prayers, in order to share the wisdom that you have learned through trials, tribulations, patience, or whatever the case may be. And I know that there's in life, as we talk about a new season, as in this new episode or this new podcast, like this season 3, but again, like I said, it'll be season 1. It made me really reflect and think about life and how life is truly full of seasons. And I had my thought process of even this past year would be to do more episodes, and just either whether it was the lack of motivation to come on or the lack of the there was some of that, but also I've always said, and I've said this before on the other podcast episodes, I don't want to just throw a podcast episode out there just to produce a podcast episode. I want it to be valuable. So when I think about life being full of seasons, I think, one, you have to give yourself grace in every season, whether it is a great season, a hard season, a fast and productive, like go hard season, or if it's a slow season. And I really just had to embrace my rest season. So I do think that there's times in life where you do rest, and not for a day, not for a Sabbath, but you literally rest for months. Like you might need to put your business to the side for months. You might need to put your passion project to the side for months. And you might need to, not travel for several months. You can invest and spend more times and steward well into your family, or maybe it's like your parents that are getting older, or your relationship, your marriage, or soon to be marriage, or whatever the case may be. So there's seasons of rest, and it's okay to embrace that. And I know a lot of people who follow this podcast are similar to me, and we are like, go, 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 gotta go getters, goal oriented people, ambitious people. And it's okay. You're going to have that time again. If your body is screaming and asking you to just rest and enjoy the goodness of your life and the prayers that have been answered, or whatever maybe you're stuck, or maybe you just don't know what to do next, like embrace that rest time and go, like hibernate, like literally go under, pray, reflect, journal, literally take naps, whatever the case may be, but enjoy and embrace your rest season, because when it is time, and you'll know it, when it's time to go hard again, when it's time to get into your grind, dare I say hustle, but y'all know that's like hustle cultures out there. But when it's time to get into your hard work season, then that's the time you're going to go hard, no limits, like be bold. You are going to maybe sacrifice a little bit more than you're normally used to, and that's okay too. So just keep that in mind. It's okay to embrace that. If you needed that reminder, whether you're in a go hard season right now and you just need to go, and just know that rest is going to have to come, because you can only do that for so long. Or if you are in Julia, I'm in a rest season, don't rush it. Don't feel bad about it. Give yourself grace on that. So coming from somebody that needed to hear that for myself. All right. So we are also doing more in 2024. Rhyme meant to happen there. And I am putting my courses that I have launched in the past on sale for you guys. I've never have had them, or maybe I have for like a week or a day or something. I don't know, like a flash sale. But I'm doing literally 50% off on my courses, because I really want you to start your new year off strong, with some discipline, with some strategies, with some just structure and organization, and just something that's going to help you collapse time on that. There's so many resources out there, but I truly, if anyone knows this about me, I've said this before as well, I value time more than money. Money I can always earn back, get back, figure out a way. That'll kind of tie into another episode about giving and just being a cheerful giver of any kind in any way, because I just think that that's just, for many reasons, the best way to live. But time, you really can't get back. Like, oh, I want that day back again, or I want that hour back again. Like, it doesn't come back. So when I'm doing things like using my time to create courses and digital content, I always think if somebody's in a busy season, or if somebody doesn't have a lot of time, or whatever the case may be, I want to make sure that this is impactful and valuable and really simplified. Like, my goal is to always simplify things to make it work and for it to also be duplicatable. So if you want to be able to duplicate that into your own life with your own family or your own business or your own job or just your own personal development, it's easy to do that a lot of times with my courses because I truly think about that when I'm creating my content. So with that, the effective coaching course is going to be 50% off. Most of my courses are around $100. So you're literally getting these courses for 50. So this one is whether you are a coach, like leading a team, whether you are a coach in education, you're like a teacher leader, an IS, and you're like a coach like that. Whether you are any kind of person, I mean, coach is such a word that we hear, but really if you're a leader of any kind, or you want to level up your leadership, this is the course for you because it's going to literally walk you through how I've been able to, in the past, especially, I've had teams up to 500 people. So how I was able to successfully build that, but maintain that and, give people the attention they needed, but not with the burnout. Like you don't want to burn yourself out, right? So just ideas on that, how to simplify coaching and how to give good tips and strategies on actually doing a coaching call with somebody, doing a coaching conversation. So a lot of times people get in leadership and they're like in these positions and titles. And I'm laughing a little bit because this is true in all areas of life. I don't care if it's in business and education or whatever the case may be. And literally people they have leadership titles, y'all, like straight up leadership titles or like a doctor in front of their name or a, high rank in a business organization. They're like at the very top or they're one from the top. And then they don't know how to actually lead or coach people. And it's like, it baffles me because I have seen people at the very top, like number one, number two, or, top leaders, and they literally do not know how to coach. Thankfully that wasn't my personal coach, that I'm under now with Bellamy, but I've seen that in the past. I've seen that with other leaders and how they even get on a training. And then I'm like, y'all are not like, what is this? And then I know this is judging obviously, but it just makes me feel like there are ways and tools to do this and to do it well. And I want to give that to people. So that's the whole tangent. The next course, let's go to that. This podcast episode, squirrel moment, is probably going to be long because it's been a minute, you guys, since I've been able to chat with you. So I hope you grabbed your favorite little drink, whatever that is. If it's in the morning, coffee. If it's, evening, glass of wine. I'm not going to judge you. If it's not even evening time and you're off of the clock, do what you got to do. If it's water, if it's whatever. So the next course that'll be on sale is the funnels that work. That is literally if you have been trying to figure out how to put your business on autopilot and how to create funnels and you don't even really know how to do it. And there's really simple ways to do it to where you don't have to do a lot of the paid programs or you don't have to really be super tech savvy. I have how-to videos in that course. I have great ways of just literally using yourself and then duplicating some of those systems. So without crazy stuff. So funnels and systems and duplication essentially is all in that course. Okay, that's on sale for 50% off. And then lastly, this one's not on sale, but this one is just an amazing course that I offer. If you are interested in literally just having a digital content course on what is all the different platforms and strategies and tips and things when it comes to social media and platforms and things like that. That's going to be on my link as well. So if you just go to the link in the bio, you will see all that. That course I just mentioned before I move on to the episode of the day, the digital content course, you actually, after you purchase it, you can actually resell it yourself. So you do get 100% resale rights on that one. On my own personal ones that are my courses, you'll see it where it says it's not for resale. It's like the coaching one and the funnels one. All right, let's get down and dirty. Well, maybe not down and dirty, but y'all get the point. So about going back to the vision for the Made for More podcast, obviously my future last name will be More, and it's a great way to use that as a pun. But like I said before, we kept thinking about people's potential and even our own. Like there's constant times where we feel like we're doing well, but then, Omar and I are like, we could do more, or we feel like we're made for more. There's still something inside us that we feel like we're, going after our God-given life purpose. But so much of that comes with continuously stewarding well, sowing well, and taking care of so many parts of your life. And so that's why I feel like when you just have it as made for more, like we're going to talk about more stability. Yeah, more finances, more money, things like that too. Hopefully will come with all these other things, but more growth. And that means personal growth, spiritual growth. We're going to be talking about more love. Like, you want love, but are you loving yourself? Are you giving love to others? Whether it's not just like looking on an app or looking, at men at church or women at church or at the grocery store. Like, are you actually putting out what you're wanting, right? More joy, more transformation. All of these things is the vision and our goal around the Made for More podcast. And that is going to lead me right into the word of the year. My word of the year this year is rooted. I would love to hear what your word of the year is. You can hit me up on the social. You can even tie it into your written review that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. Who wants $50 in their pocket? $50 cash. I don't know about you, but after the holidays, January, I know my educators know when you get paid once a month, the struggle is real. So I am still able, by the grace of God, to do a $50 giveaway for written reviews for this month. So you got to get it in January to be entered. If only one person does a written review, then sister or brother friend, you will be the winner. But hopefully there'll be multiple of you guys that want to just go ahead and do a written review for our new launch of Made for More podcast and share either what you're looking forward to, share your word of the year, share what you've loved about this podcast in the past, or just kind of what you are excited about and why you tune in. We would love to hear it. So, word of the year, let's give you some value on this right here. Mine's rooted. For years now, I've done word of the year, probably for maybe this is like year 7, but it's evolved and I truly feel like it's grown over time. And it used to be I would just pick it myself, like this is what I want to do, this is what I want to focus on. And then it turned and morphed into taking time to pray about it and think about it. And I start early. I start in October. Like, Lord, all right, we're wrapping up. This is quarter 4. Start revealing to me what my word is for the new year. And it doesn't usually come right away. And the last probably 3 or 4 years, for sure, well, 3, I'm counting this one rooted. The word comes out of nowhere, but yet at the same time, I know it's God and this Holy Spirit telling me like, that's your word. Last year, y'all, the word was surrender. And when I tell y'all, I was trying to like slap my ear, like, I didn't hear that. No, I am a control freak. Like I say, former control freak now. I want to be able to, even when I want God to like, yeah, God, you're in control. I want to be like, but let me be in the passenger seat and let me tell you which direction to go. Like, stop here, turn right here. Oh, did you see that guy over there? Oh, did you see that job over there? Like, that's where I was at in that season of life where I was like, yeah, you have control, but like, I kind of want to give you some advice and some tips. And God's like, do you really think, Julia, I need advice and tips from you? Like, I know you have great plans. I know you have wonderful plans, but mine are even better. And mine, I have more for you, literally more. And like, hello, he meant it literally and physically, right? But so whenever I heard the word surrender, I was not wanting that one. I can't remember what word I really wanted last year, but I heard it again. I said, okay, I guess I have to surrender to the word being surrender because I feel like that's what God's telling me to do. And I said, if you're going to do this, Julia, you have to really do it. You have to commit to it. So that meant not doing a vision board. That meant like, because it was God's vision, like whatever plan he had for me, I just literally put my hands up. And so one thing I would ask you to do is if your word is in the Bible, literally go to the Bible app. This is my first tip. Go to the Bible app and type in your word and see if that word has a Bible verse attached to it. So I do that a lot of times, and I literally buy swag and gifts, and not gifts, it's like t-shirts and things. It's gifts to myself, I guess, of that word, maybe in a Bible verse or just the word itself. Oh, I remember now because I'm wearing this shirt right now. So I wanted my word to be meek. Like I am meek and not like soft and weak, meek in the Bible. Because it basically means you have strength and power, but under God's control. And so it kind of ties into surrender, right? But God was like, no, 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 no. Like, before you can have meekness, you need to surrender to me fully. Before you can have any power or any kind of control of any kind of thing, you got to release all control. So your word of the year is surrender. Sorry, boo, meek, gotta go. But by the time I kind of still was already finding some Bible verses and things. So this sweatshirt that I have is literally, I went on Etsy and found somebody that could put it on a shirt. And it says, blessed are the meek, Matthew 5:5. So you can literally do that. You can find a Bible verse. You can find something that speaks to you. Go on Etsy, find somebody that can make custom shirts, and boom, done, get it sent to you. Why this is important. I have my word of the year on me every day. I have it as a necklace, my gold necklace chain. If you ever see me in person or you see pictures, tend to wear it a lot. It has my word of the year every year on it. So I've had chosen, surrender, meek, alignment. This year, mine says rooted. And then I have t-shirts or sweatshirts and things like that with words like chosen, surrender, or, things like that. And then I have little beads, like those bead bracelets. I had somebody on Etsy make me one of those with my word of the year. So when you wear that, it really will help you truly if the whole purpose of a word of the year is to simplify a goal, right? And to make it attainable and to literally let that guide you the best you can. So if you haven't prayed about your word of the year yet, and you chose it without God, that's okay. Just pray and ask God to allow that word to be a blessing to you this year and to have him work through you through your word. So it's not too late to bring him into the process. I personally just do mine before I even pick my word. I'm like, God, you pick it for me, because whatever word I pick, you got a better word, right? So, another year it was chosen, and I was like, chosen for what? I had no idea why that word chosen was brought to me. I was looking at a list of all these words, and there was a list of 100 words. Chosen was nowhere on there. So I was like, okay, God, this was you. And thankfully through that year, I had so many rejections. And it's funny how that works. I'm like, if I was chosen, why am I not being chosen? If this is my word of the year. But what I really needed to remember is that I am chosen from God. I am his daughter and king. I am chosen, and we are of his chosen people to live righteous and to be the light. And that's what I needed to remember, my true identity in Christ, that I am chosen. And so that was a great year for me. Alignment was a great year, and now I'm in rooted. So let me kind of give y'all another tip on word of the year. After you pick your word of the year, you might have picked it for one thing. I kind of wrote some, because some people commented in our Julia Keeps It Real group, which I'm probably obviously going to be renaming along with a lot of my website stuff. So a lot of these branding things are going to take me a little bit of time, but it's okay. A lot of people commented their word of the year, and I loved, and I still need to go back and read a couple. But let's say you pick joy. Joy came up several times. People chose that word, and you might have said, okay, I want my year to be joy because, maybe 2023 was one of my best years of my life. But maybe, I know for some it wasn't, right? So maybe joy, you're wanting to bring more joy in your life, or maybe you just want to focus on the good and focus on the joy, whatever your reason is. I want you to look though and I want you to write down in your Grow Journal, these are the 7 areas that you really want to take your word and apply it, and then see what are your goals or your action steps that you're going to take in each of these areas. So if it's joy, what does joy look like? And what are your action steps to work that in for your word of the year when it comes to your faith and spiritual journey? So that one should be pretty easy, right? Goes back to going and typing in the word joy in the Bible, which you're going to see that a lot. Scroll through and find maybe some Bible verses that speak to you that can kind of be your anchored Bible verse for the year. Then I want you to think about, how does joy apply to family? Do you need to look for more joy? Do you need to release some past hurt? Who do you need to forgive? Who's stopping you from fulfilling and having that joy in your heart for family all across, all parts of your family? Does joy in family mean that you need to do some reconnecting and community back in your family and have a reunion or have a family gathering, or go ahead and be super intentional and schedule things with your family that are fun experiences to create that joy, right? Then you're going to look at your finances, which I think that's going to be a little bit harder, joy and finances. But I think about just going back to stewarding well. That's probably going to be what it does a lot. If joy is going to be something that is your word of the year, how does that relate to your finances? Well, again, maybe you can be smart and be intentional about scheduling fun activities that bring you joy and budget for those things in your finances. Does this make sense? So I want you to go through every of these categories and plug it into all of these areas that are in your life, so it really is an anchored word for your whole year. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Joy and fitness. So that one's another one that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna think of this on the top of my head. Maybe you find a fitness activity that you enjoy. Maybe you don't have one right now, and maybe you need to try something new. Like if going to the gym is not your thing, which I totally get, it's not really mine either, then maybe you can do Zumba classes like I did for like a year or something with friends. And it was joyful. Like we had a good time, and it wasn't always like a drag to be like, oh, I gotta go to Zumba. Like it was fun to get out there and go work out with your friends. Maybe it's to do, something at the house, or maybe it's to just do walks outside. But whatever it is in the fitness realm, maybe you need to find ways to incorporate joy into that. Maybe, like I said, get a friend to work out with you and do that. Maybe your joy is fitness as in health, and finding joy in what you're eating and being health conscious and finding things that can work in that. Because when you are, I'm going to say my own word, rooted, when you are rooted in joy in all of these areas, it's going to come out. It's going to exude itself. Joy will come whenever you are working in all these areas. Career, joy in your career. If you're not happy where you're at, what can you do to make yourself enjoy where you are, by either finding the positive and the good, or taking action steps to look for something else. Like that's where I had to finally come to the terms with, like, I've got to take my own actions to get to where I need to do and be when it comes to career stuff. Intellectuals, this is like your personal development, your growth, joy in that. That means maybe finding a book on joy. That means, like I said, finding Bible verses on joy. That means just reading the books that you enjoy, right? All right. And then the last one is social, which is kind of like personal a little bit. This can be your friends. That sounded really funny when I said that. This can be your friends. I even think about social/SEL, and I think this is the educator in me. And SEL means essentially just like your socially emotional, the L is learning, but like your social emotional being. How are you taking care of that with your word? So joy with friends. Again, who do you need to reconnect with? Who do you need to schedule things out with? Joy for your personal care, your own self-care is basically like the SEL part, right? What are you doing to make sure you have joy there? Okay. So I went through all 7 of those for joy. I can literally do the exact same thing for words like alignment. How are you aligning your finances? And so do you have a budget sheet and you're really aligning it with your goals? How are you finding alignment within your fitness and making sure that that aligns to whatever else your main focus is? So some people are super into fitness and they work out 2 hours. Well, maybe this year you work out 1 hour because you're trying to still stay healthy, or maybe it's 30 minutes instead of an hour, but you need to focus and be more in alignment in another area of your life. And that has to now take priority, right? So career is, how's that in alignment? And if it's not, where do we need to pray about that? Where do we need to work on setting boundaries? To me, alignment is such a good one about boundary setting. Because if you're aligned, let's think about that, even like a car alignment. If your car is aligned, it's not bobbing and weaving. It's not the tire. You can literally take your hands off the wheel and your car should still be able to drive straight, right? So when you're in alignment, everything is lined up. And for that to be able to be lined up and straight, that means there's like buffers. That means there's parameters. That means there's some boundaries. So when I think about alignment, I think about boundaries might need to be something you think about when it comes to your different areas of life. Okay. Personal development with alignment. Again, find books on that. So insert your word of the year. When it comes to personal development, find personal development books on your word of the year. Find things with your friends and social things that go and connect with your word of the year. Alignment can mean you need to align yourself with the right kind of friends. Get rid of the ones that you don't need to align with anymore. And maybe not rid of. I know that sounds very crucial and crude, I meant to say. But maybe it just means you, again, set up boundaries. You just don't give them as much access to you. Like, okay, we're friends, but I don't see you as much, or I don't talk to you as much, or I I hide you on my social or whatever the case may be. Like sometimes you have to set those boundaries. What else? Another one came up, surrender. Talked about that. I mean, surrendering all areas of your life. Surrender. That one, you just let go and let God on that one, okay? But literally in every area of your life. And then discipline. So the word, like it goes on and on. So if you're struggling with any of these, you guys, with your word of the year and those 7, I'll mention those 7 again. Reach out to me. I would love to help you. You're like, hey, Julia, my word of the year is blah, blah, blah. My word of the year is rooted, okay? And I can see how I can be rooted in my faith. I can see how I can be like rooted in my career. I can see how I can even be rooted in the personal development because I can just find some books on rooted or like you said, find the Bible verses that go with rooted. But I'm really struggling on how I could be rooted in finances and fitness and in, the family, And that would be a great time to reach out to me and I can just kind of give you some of my thought process and honestly just let Holy Spirit speak through me and whatever tips and advice I have for you for that. So hopefully this is helpful. Again, your word of the year, figure out how does that apply itself and what are you going to do in faith and spiritual, that's together. So faith, family, finances, fitness, career, intellectual, so basically like your personal development, and then your social is the 7th one. And your social is, I tie all that into personal goals, your SEL as in like your social emotional feelings, taking care of yourself. So social/personal is like, how does that word tie into your personal goals, not personal development, that's intellectual, like just you taking care of you or other little personal things that you need to get done. And also just your social needs, like family. Not family. Family is its own again. Friends, community, things like that. All right. So much goodness I have in store for y'all. You'll have no idea. We're going to have guests on this episode, like I mentioned, that are not just business people, that are people that are going to help you truly realize that you, my friends, are made for more. And that means more in all these categories we're talking about, being able to find better or level up when it comes to our finances, and it comes to family and fitness and faith and career and our intellectual and social parts of who makes us and who we are. We're made for more on all of those things. We'll be back. Omar will be back soon as well. So I know the episodes he was on and Julia Keeps It Real were like the highest ones. So that also kind of told me, okay, we need to do some partnership work on this because I think obviously when you bring 2 heads in, it's a great conversation and we'll be happy to share some things going forward. Of course, we'll do some wedding talk stuff and I'll share some fun things that have happened along the way and share some tips. So if you either are wedding planning or you know somebody that is, there's lots of great learning with that and fun with that. So we'll kind of give some updates on that. Y'all, don't forget about the $50 giveaway. I'm literally serious about that. It will happen at the end of the month, or maybe I'll go ahead and let January 31st happen and then do the giveaway in February. But nonetheless, all you got to do is either go to ratethispodcast.com/Julia Keeps It Real, because I think that's still my link there. Go to the show notes. You'll see it. You can click that link. But really, the easiest thing to do is to be in the Apple Podcast player, scroll down to the bottom of the show, and it's going to say, write a review and rate this show. You should already be subscribed. If you're not, click subscribe, click that little check button, go down. I would love for you to hit 5 stars and then write a review. And then you want to make sure you include your name so I know who you are. And then you will be entered to the $50 giveaway. So that's it. I am super excited to share all these things with y'all. You can go to the website that's also in the show notes to get the courses that are on sale for probably only this week. So you want to snatch those up before they go back to regular price. And then y'all, I am so, when I tell y'all, you have no idea. We are also going to talk about credit score. Your girl has got so many things for y'all. We're going to talk about fitness and how to make sure our body's a temple and how to do it in a way that's not you feel like you're on a diet and you're dying, right? So I love y'all. See y'all next time on the Made for More podcast.